Hi, welcome everybody. My name is Chandra. We'll get started. Hannah's going to start the YouTube. Hi, come on in. So I want to make a couple announcements. Is everybody in, do you think? About to sneeze. Try not to sneeze into the microphone. No, wait a second. Okay. So just an announcement that we will not be meeting next week and the week after. So we need to take 2 weeks off because I have to get surgery, hopefully resolving, another one, hopefully to resolve the back issue that's been plaguing me for about 7 months now. You're going to clean up the disc, inshallah. And it's a few weeks of recovery. But I think that by the 17th, I should be good to come in and sit or meditate lying down with you all again. So I asked Jenny if she could sub, and she can't sub. And I don't have anybody else I know of that I feel can hold the class the way I'd like it to be held. So we're just going to give you guys a couple weeks off. So come to some of the other wonderful things. Is the Relatefulness every Tuesday now, or just every other Tuesday?
Every other roughly, but sometimes they change it.
They change it up. Yeah, so that's an interesting class that you might find. Oh, really? Funny. Oh, well, I'm glad you were here to tell us that. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and anything else, Hannah, that we should say about that? We can do other announcements at the end, unless you want to do anything now?
No, I can wait till the end.
Well, wait till the end. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and begin by taking some breaths. Let's close our eyes to settle in. Feel yourself arriving on an even deeper level. Know that your body's in the room. Let your mind come into the room, into your body. Feel the breath in your belly. And as always, we begin the class with prayer to the Great Mother as Narayaṇi. It's a shloka from an old text called the Devi Mahatmya. It's a text that honors the awakened feminine in many different forms. This is the 12th shloka, or phrase, stanza. So it's on the top of your handout. So if you don't have it memorized yet, if you're new to the class, you can go ahead and open your eyes, and you've got 2 handouts, and the one is a prayer like with all the mantras. That's the one you're going to look at now. It's at the very top of that one on page 1. The English translation is below if you'd like to just listen and read the English and understand what we're saying, or feel free to enjoy the sounds and follow along with the prayer. We'll do 11 repetitions. I'll say the first line, you can repeat after me. Second line, repeat, and so on, and then we'll do 11 together. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha, Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha, paritrāṇa parāyaṇe, paritrāṇa parāyaṇe, Sarvasyārti hare Devi, Sarvasyārti hare Devi, Nārāyaṇi namostute, Nārāyaṇi namostute. Together. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha, paritrāṇa parāyaṇe, Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Nārāyaṇi namostute. Thank you. So let's come up to standing. We'll do the warm-ups and then we'll sit. So you can either stand on your cushion or in front of it. I would recommend standing in front of it if you can. Gives you a little bit better groundedness, easier balance. So the heels are together, the toes are slightly turned out. The right hand is against the navel and your left hand is against the right hand. Then stand up nice and tall, reach up through the crown of the head, and then let the eyes gaze at a comfortable angle towards the floor. This is called stamba, the staff. It's like a version of Tadasana, mountain pose. Feel the breath beneath the palms and soften the gaze. Bring the tip of the tongue to rest against the upper palate at the root of the top front teeth. And then relax the root of the tongue down towards the heart. Relax the lower jaw away from the upper jaw. And then turn the two corners of the mouth just slightly up as if you're about to smile. And see if you can let the mind reside within the full global body, meaning Soles of the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. Relax the shoulders. As you make the inner elbows heavy, that draws the shoulder blades down the back. The chest is buoyant. Good. And then now release the hands down. Heels widen so the feet are parallel. Step the right foot back, a little bit behind the standing foot. The right foot back. Stand on the left. And then put weight on top of the toes. Yeah, and start to rotate the ankle outward. 2. We'll do 10 reps. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't let the head drop forward too much. Keep it stacked nice on top of the spine. And 10. Good. Weight on the right foot, left foot back a bit behind you, weight on the tops of the toes, and circling out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. Weight even between the feet, hip width distance apart. Now we jump up to the head and we work our way down the joints from top to bottom. So we're doing head rolls, so you can modify if this isn't appropriate for you, but release the chin down towards the chest if you're going to do it, and start to move the chin to the right, shoulder up and around and down to the left. 1. We'll do 5 reps each direction. 2. Other options, if you get dizzy or need to be more gentle on the neck, are doing lateral moves, ear to shoulder like so. And then you can do some back and forth if you wish. Okay, let's do one more circle to your right. Coming around to your chest and then reverse. 1, 2. So while you're moving the head, relax the mind down into the soles of the feet. 4 and 5. Good. So coming around to center and then look up, face neutral. And then we do the shoulders. Forward, up, down, and back. 1, 2, 3. Your fingertips are drawing little circles on the sides of your thighs. 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. 9 and 10. Now bring the hands in front of the face. Interlace the fingers. Rotate the wrists. 1. We'll do this double time. 2. Relax the ridge of the shoulders. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now release the hands down. You're going to spiral like helicopter arms to your right first, and then around to the left. 3, 4, right, left. The front hand tapping the shoulder, the chest. The back hand is tapping the lower back rib, floating rib where the kidneys are. Little love taps here. So, stimulating the lung function at the chest as you tap, stimulating the kidney function at the back. Let the head move, really freeing up the spine. Breathing naturally, it's just nice and even flow of the in and out breath. Last few rounds. Last time to the right, last time to the left. Now release the arms down. Let the hips join in now. You just circle with the hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay in your own sphere of space here. Like you're beginning your meditation right now, where you're letting the senses draw in and really be with your body, your movement, state of mind you're in as you move, the different feelings, sensations that are coming up as you move, and reverse. 1, 2. Notice if the eyes are roaming, the mind is roaming. No need to compare yourself. Relax your arms down by your side. So the arms are relaxed, chest is relaxed, the face is relaxed. You're sort of super loose up top. Knees are straight. And last couple rounds. 9 and 10. Coming to center. Step the feet together. Hands right above the knees as you bend the knees. And circle with the knees. 1, 2, 3. Heels on the floor, shoulders relaxed. Look down towards the floor. 7, 8. Good. 9, 10. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Standing. Feet come back to hip width distance apart for Sarpa. Inhale and exhale. Bending. Hips shift back, then forward and wave through the spine. 2. Like seaweed in the ocean. Let your body be loose. Like a wave. 4, 5. Let it ripple all the way from the soles of the feet up through the crown of the head. Good. Really feel this. You close your eyes even. Let yourself feel the organic movement. 2 more. And next time you stand up, raise the arms. Exhale. 2 more like this. Inhale, you can look up if it's good for your neck. Root into the feet as you breathe in. Hold the breath as you start to move the hands down, and then exhale when the hands pass in front of the face. Good. 1 more like that. Inhale, root down as you breathe in. Holding, and exhale as the hands pass in front of the face. Good. Let's do 1 more, and then we'll come into our squat, our Kaki Mudra. Chin down. Exhale. So now here, especially if you're new, take a look at me. The backs of the hands come forward and open like that, right? As we do that, the heels and the toes come a little closer together, not completely together. Okay, so we're going to do that and then keep moving down into the squat. So inhale, chin down, pressing the hands. Exhale. When the hands pass in front of the heart, the back of the hands come together. Open as you heel toe. Come down. If you can, stand on the tops of your hands, fingers pointing out to the sides. If that's too much, just come up higher. It's okay. Just come onto your fingertips or come up even higher is fine. But it looks like a lot of you are doing good with that. Yeah, so really stand on the tops of the hands. Take off my ring. Exhale. Inhale, look up, make a beak with your tongue. Can you bend your knees a little more? Inhale. Then close the mouth. Exhale. Looking up, inhale, pucker the lips, breathe in through the tongue. I can't hear you guys breathing. Okay, stop. I feel like people are going to faint. Okay, watch. I want to show you because this is going to be grueling if Okay, so front rows, please stay down, like you can squat like this. Or remember I showed you the other day, don't sit on your butt. If you're not, or the back rows can stand, like if I'm demonstrating a movement, this is what I'd like you guys to do. The back rows can stand so you can see. Front couple rows can't stand because nobody will be able to see, right? So don't sit on your butt, Katie. No butts. No ifs, ands, or buts, because you're going to get cold. It's not for me, it's for you. Your spine will get cold. One really nice yogi squat is this one with the toes turned under. It opens up the soles of the feet, keeps you warm. Or you can just stay in a squat like a lot of you are doing. That's good too. Just don't sit on your butt. Yeah. Okay, so the way this goes is it's a mudra with the mouth, with the tongue. It's called Kaki mudra, which means the crow. And so we're making a beak shape with the mouth and the tongue like this. Like the taco tongue, yeah. And we're breathing in, so it's like you're drinking in the air like a bird would drink in water. Yeah, so when you inhale, actually go ahead and everybody can stand up. We'll just do the breath. Okay, let's exhale together. Then inhale, make the taco tongue, Kaki mudra, breathe in. Good, now close the mouth, exhale through the nose. Let's do it again. I really want to hear you breathing in. Taco tongue, inhale. Feel like you're drawing the breath all the way down to the tailbone. Close the mouth, exhale through the nose. One more like that. Inhale as you raise the gaze, look up with the face. Close, breathe out through the nose. Good. Okay, one little secret that you won't be able to know if I don't tell you about it, because it's what the tongue is doing. So you know what the tongue is doing with the inhalation. Everybody's doing, I could tell you, going like that. And then when you, okay, it's not exactly a taco tongue, right? That was just for introductory instruction. Now it's sort of taco tongue, but the tongue is pressing down and the tip of the tongue is touching the frenum, right here. That ligament or tendon that connects the tongue to the root of the mouth. Huh? So when you breathe in, you're going to be going, so the taco is more of the mouth. The beak is the mouth. Like that. All right? And then when you breathe out through the nose, the tongue presses against the palate right there, the hard palate, right at the root of the top front teeth. Okay? And you press against it as you breathe out through the nose. And you'll feel it start to spread the teeth. It's kind of cool. It creates space in the jaw a little bit. So let's try that once, and then I'll show you how it's done in the squat. So let's do the correct tongue now, and it's pressing down at the frenum. So let's exhale together. And looking up, inhale, Kaki mudra. Exhale through the nose, press the tongue against the hard palate, right at the root of the teeth. That's it. You feel that a little bit? Okay, so now the front couple rows, please squat. I want to just show you what this squat looks like. This is called Anilasana. It's a version of the squat that we do with the Kaki mudra. Exhale. See how the hands go like this? And the feet come a little closer together. Then I'm standing on top of the hands like this. Fingers are pointing out. I've exhaled completely. Let the shoulders draw down. And then I look up. Kaki mudra, just watch. And then exhale. If you know Uddiyana Bandha Kriya, you can do it now. So plunging of the navel back when you're empty. Inhale again. You can relax the neck a little bit if it's getting tense, especially when you exhale. Okay, so we'll do that 3 times. And then we'll come up into Uttanasana, the standing forward fold.
Can't stand on our,
Right. If you can't stand on your hands, that's fine. What you can do is you can still do the mudra, which is the most important part. But instead of coming all the way down, what you do is you do the hand movement, and then you can either come just right to here. Okay, just really work with being in the legs. Yeah, and if that's even too far, then you come up here. Okay, yeah.
Or if you can almost stand on your hands, but you want to totally clasp your knee down.
Then do it. If it's okay, so if you feel it's okay on your back and your ankles, do it, because sooner or later you're going to be down. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All right. We're almost done. Then we'll sit. Let's exhale together. And inhale, raise the arms, rooting into the feet as you raise the arm. Chin down, hold the breath as the hands start to come down. Exhale. Turning the hands, heel toe, the feet a little closer together. Standing on the hands. With the in-breath, start to look up, Kaki Mudra. Close the mouth, exhale, tongue against the hard palate. Relax the neck. Inhale, Kaki. Exhale. Good. Last one, inhale, very nice. Close the mouth, exhale. And then inhale, come off the hands, Uttanasana. Straighten the legs or leave them a little bent. Exhale, bow the head, forehead towards the shins. 3 breaths here, letting the spine dangle. Space between the vertebrae. Hands can be on the floor or to the sides of the feet. And then when you're ready, start to work your way down to the floor, finding your meditation seat. So that concludes the Dasha Chalanam, the 10 churnings, the 10 joint rolls. And really take a moment here to make sure you're in a comfortable seat. We'll sit for about 45 minutes. If you need to lie down, you can lie down. That's what I'm going to do. Or sit in a chair. There are plenty of chairs back there. The most important thing in meditation, one of the most important things in terms of the posture, is to make sure the spine is straight, not bent or slouching. So we can do that in a chair, on a cushion, or in the supine pose, or in standing meditation, or walking meditation. All of those are viable ways to meditate. So make sure your body is comfortable. Listen to your own body.
Is there any way to turn off some of the lights?
Yeah, let's turn down the lights a little bit. Can we? Can we dim them or? That's not, I had the same thought, but I didn't say it. Thank you. That's good. Good. See, you're listening to your body. Allow the eyes to close. Taking some deep breaths. How's the sound? Is it okay? Okay. So we've moved the body, we chanted, lifted the spirits with the chanting, opened the heart a bit, then moved the body, circulated the blood, the lymph, mobilized the joints. Now feel the body relaxing into ease and stillness, aligned with gravity like a mountain, still at peace within itself. Feel that stability within you. And once you've found a position that feels good, then commit to staying in it through the duration of the sit, in stillness, relaxation. And yet in my class, if you absolutely have to move, then you have the freedom to do that, of course, but do so mindfully, slowly, without losing that thread of mindfulness. But really make sure it's absolutely necessary, because with movement, the mind gets stirred. And what we're doing in meditation is giving the mind a chance to become still and limpid like a calm, quiet pool of water. The sediment has drifted to the bottom and the water is clear. In the same way, as thoughts begin to settle and the mind settles in its natural state, the mind becomes clear and still. Just allow yourself to have this feeling of being in the moment, in the body with the breath. If you notice any tension, soften it with the exhalation. First ingredient is relaxation. The body relax, the breath, and the mind will follow. So no longer controlling the length of the breath. If it's shallow, let it be shallow. If it's deep, let it be deep. Mindfulness of breathing releases any control of the breath, and we practice being with what is without changing it. Deep acceptance and a letting go of expectation, of rules, of ambition. Let that fall away and drop into a simple quality of presence. With each breath. And sometimes the mind is active. It's not easy to just tell it to stop thinking. It can be nice to channel that active mind by giving it what's called a gati, a short phrase of mindfulness, like a mantra, to help the mind stay in the moment with the body. And the Buddha offered this phrase, and I'll offer it to you now, something you can internally recite. With the in-breath, you could say to yourself, soothing the field of the body, I breathe in. With the out-breath, you could say, soothing the field of the body, I breathe out. Soothing the field of the body, I breathe in. Soothing the field of the body, I breathe out. If the breath is shorter than that, then you can just say soothing body, breathe in. Soothing body, breathe out. Release distraction with the out-breath as soon as you notice it. Let it go. And come back to the breath and the body in this phrase. Soothing the field of the body, I breathe in. Soothing the field of the body, I breathe out. Sometimes the mind says, but that's so boring. I don't want to do that. What's at the end of that road? Just try this. It's here for a reason. Centuries, millennia, practitioners, simple practices of following the breath for a reason. Don't you want to find out? What is that? What gift does a concentrated mind give us? Find out for yourself. You've spent so much time distracted, thinking that the entertainment of the mind is what you want. But when you sit quiet and really watch the mind for what it is, you realize there's not a lot of original content. So after a while, we get sort of tired of ourselves, same old reruns. And that's okay. Let's try something different. Let's tether the mind to the breath and this simple phrase and see what treasures it unlocks for us. Soothing the field of the body, I breathe in. Soothing the field of the body, I breathe out. Release distraction with the out breath and come back to this again and again. If you no longer need the phrase, feel free to release it and stay with the breath. Bringing in the second ingredient of meditation, which is stability. Within the domain, the space of relaxation, we bring in stability. Threading the pearl necklace, the mala, one breath, next, without losing that thread of mindfulness. If you lose it, come back again. But not too loose, not too tight. Threading the eye of the needle. Stay. Don't abandon yourself. Stay. Even if challenging emotions or looping thoughts come, embrace those with your mindfulness, with awareness, like a blanket surrounding all of the appearances of the mind. No need to banish or fix or even ignore. Just simply be aware and be aware of the tendency to grasp, to cling at thoughts, appearances, memories, fantasies. And let mindfulness be a solvent that dissolves that sticky glue of clinging so that thoughts can just bubble up and pass away. This quality of spaciousness grows within you. Time to time, check your posture. Are you slouching, leaning over, sitting up nice and tall? Or are you tight? Relax and settle in more deeply. The Chin slightly drawn back towards the center of the throat lengthens the back of the neck. The tip of the tongue resting at the upper palate. Shoulders relaxed. Belly soft. Hips and legs relaxed. The muscles of the face are soft. The eyes can be closed or slightly open. And rest with the breath as it flows in and out of the body. The breath is your anchor. And now shifting into the next phase of practice, settling the mind in its natural state. I invite you to slowly open your eyes, gazing at a comfortable angle towards the floor. And then soften the gaze without being distracted or focusing on any visual object in particular. Let the gaze be soft. And now we shift from taking the breath as the anchor of mindfulness to taking the mind itself as the object of mindfulness. The domain of the mind, the space within which thoughts and feelings arise and pass. Can you stabilize in that experience of abiding in awareness itself, dissolving the illusory boundary of outer and inner by having the eyes open, This quality of awareness can happen at any time within meditation, formal, or within your day. Settle the mind in its natural state, limpid, unbound, free of center and periphery. Feel free to blink or rest the eyes closed for as long as you need to, and then slowly open them again. It takes a while to get used to. Be patient. Soften the gaze. Like limpid pools of water. From time to time, ask, who is meditating? Who is focusing? Who is releasing? And then rest, observe. And if it is the mind, then ask, what is that agent called the mind? And who is aware of the mind? Ask, look, and then release and rest. You may even identify awareness, Rigpa. Look and release and rest. This enhances the third ingredient of meditation, that of luminosity, radiance, clarity, the wakefulness of mind. Relaxation, stability, and luminosity. When mind looks at mind, even though it may not find a thing called the mind with a shape, location, color, there is a quality of awareness, a quality of knowing, of cognizance. If you experience that, then follow that, rest in that. A quality of awareness. Radiant, like the sun that illuminates anything it turns towards. Spacious like the sky. And empty of solidity, it appears, yet is empty of intrinsically existing, like a rainbow in the sky, appearing yet empty. Rest in this. Shunyata, emptiness, luminosity of the mind. Now gently close your eyes and release any effort. Enter into a state of non-meditation, just letting go of any subtle or gross striving or effort to concentrate, and return to this quality of just being, letting go. So I would like to invite you all to either just let your body flop back or fold forward. Just do whatever feels good for your body. Rest the spine. Yeah, do whatever your body is calling for you to do. Might not be used to sitting still for that long. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come back for the Dharma talk. First, any questions coming right out of practice? Anything that you would like help with, support with? Normally we sit for about 30 minutes. Tonight we sat for 45. It's nice every once in a while to stretch yourself, sit a little longer than you're used to. Like one of my teachers used to encourage us to sit 15 minutes longer once a week than we normally do, so. But it's up to you. So that's what we did. It's good to stretch a bit. Maybe that wasn't long for you at all. Any support, questions, observations?
Would it be an appropriate task of feeding demons question?
Yeah. It's just because, But we can talk offline, or you could email me even. Okay? Yeah. Yes.
Often when in meditation, there's a lot of dullness or sleepiness that happens.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to wonder how well my understanding of my mind, while alert and clear, how well my understanding there actually applies to what the dull mind is like. So the idea of I guess the thing I'm thinking about is the true nature of the mind, what's always there.
Mm.
Noticing that, the thing I thought that doesn't feel like it's always there when it's very dull.
Mm.
It's not clear that that's there in the same way when it's dull.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you have any thoughts or observations or
Yeah, because its nature is clear, right? So when you're clear, you're more in it. You're more tasting it. Whereas when you're dull, it's clouded. It's clouding it. The dullness is
I guess
clouding it.
It's how do I know that the dullness is clouding it, and it's still there, as opposed to when dull, it's just a different thing. It's not there at all. The clarity is actually just what it feels like to be clear. And
Mhm.
it's not that it's hidden when it's dull, it's just not there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but see, it's always there, whether you're clear or dull. It's like the sun is always shining.
Yeah, I'm curious how to investigate that and figure that out from inside.
Yeah. You know, like Patabi Joyce would say, practice and all is coming. You know, you have to just continue to sit with that. You know, and then you realize, oh yeah, even in the dullness, even in the fatigue. I remember one time for me that dawned really strongly with the fatigue. I was so tired in retreat. I thought I was going to keel over, you know. And then my teacher said something like, even I swore he said it right then, you know, even when there's fatigue, it's not a problem because it's happening within the space of awareness. You know, we don't prefer or push away anything. When we can abide in that space in awareness, then we don't need to fix it necessarily. We can be with it. And then I got it. It was like that fatigue was a gift for me because it's like the dullness could be a gift for you because then you could see or feel the sunlight of the clarity shining through the dullness from time to time. It starts to get stronger. Am I getting to your? It's like you know, it's like when we're on the earth and it's cloudy, we think it's like what you're saying to me sounds like, which I know you don't believe, but it sounds like, well, because I'm on the earth and I'm looking up and all I see are clouds, that means there's no sun.
And that's kind of what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is a sun. The sun is always shining. It's just from our vantage point whether we see that or not. Sometimes what meditation does is it gets us like in an airplane high above the veils of our karmas that keep us dull or cloudy or foggy for a period of time, and we can see, oh wow, the sun is always shining. It just appears to not be shining when there's a blanket of clouds.
Yeah, there's something about that doesn't sit right with me, so something I have to investigate it.
Okay. All right. I mean, like they say that the appearances of day and night don't change space. Space remains the same. That's another common saying in Dzogchen. So awareness is like space. It's vast like space. The appearances that come within that space don't change the nature of the space itself. So we might see day over here, whereas on the other hemisphere they see night. Just because they see night doesn't mean day doesn't exist.
Yeah, that metaphor makes sense to me, but I think where I struggle with it is how to extend from space is another one that I think makes sense to me, where it has the same quality, where there in some meditations it feels quite contracted and small, right?
Mm-hmm.
In some meditations, the sense of space and awareness is like, I gotta have this big, and then something's like vast and big.
Yeah.
But to give primacy to the vastness and say, well, that's the one that's real, and the other one is clouded, feels non-obvious to me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It feels non-obvious to say that when I'm having an experience of closed offness, there is still the vastness, I just can't feel and experience it.
Yeah, I guess that either you have to take their word for it, you know, or keep practicing and see for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Buddha said, don't take my word for anything, test it out. And yet I think we can, you know, like great scientists who've come before us, we can base our practice on the observations and experiences of, you know, some great masters, people who've really done their time. And they all say that mind is vast like space. They don't say it's contracted like small. You know, but that doesn't mean you need to believe it. I think your inclination is good. Keep chewing on it. Experience it for yourself. maybe meditate on that koan of like, the appearances of day and night don't change space itself. So mind that is likened to the space. Thoughts, sem, remember? Sem, which are dualistic or conceptual thoughts, are like day and night. They're the appearances that change. But awareness, rigpa, is space. It's like space.
Yeah, if it's the thing that doesn't change, given if it's the thing that's state independent, or the thing that doesn't change, I haven't found it yet.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people haven't. I mean, how old are you?
32.
Yeah, you're young. Keep at it. And I know you've done a lot of retreat. I know you're not just brand new at meditating, but the orientation was different in those retreats. Yeah, it's a new language. You're learning a new language too. Yeah. Okay, good question. Coming out of experience, right? These questions like that are really helpful for all of us. Okay, so I do want to cover this slogan tonight. We're on the 15th slogan. It's we don't need to spend a lot of time on it. Some of them are more, for me, are more interesting than others. This one's interesting. It's also quite traditional, so I don't want to, yeah, I mean, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so who wants to read the 15th slogan out loud, supporting with your belly voice for the group? Number 15.
4 practices are the best method.
Good. 4 practices are the best of methods. So what's interesting is the 4 practices that I'll explain. I don't see the category, this kind of system anywhere else in Buddhism. Oftentimes what they mention are kind of common, the 3 this, the 4 that, the 10 this. But in this one, it's quite unique to these slogans. And it's helpful. It's very good. But where's okay, so the first one is a practice that's super common in Buddhism. I don't know about all the vehicles, all the different streams of Buddhism, but definitely in the Vajrayana, probably Mahayana Vajrayana mostly, but also I'm sure in the earlier streams of Theravada, it's probably important, is to accumulate merit. To gather merit. It's sort of like gathering, like putting money in your merit bank account, in your spiritual bank account, like doing good deeds, doing good things such as like donating to good causes, sharing the Dharma, supporting a monastic to do a retreat, giving to a monastery. These are traditional Buddhist type practices that help the whole community in the sense where us lay folks, for example, like if I can't go do a retreat because I've got little kids at home, I might donate some money to the monastery or sponsor a monk or nun to go do retreat so that then they can practice. And then I share in that positive merit. That's a way of thinking that's quite common in Buddhist communities, I'm sure in other spiritual communities as well. So first step often in these practices are like, if you're going to go on a road trip, you need to fill up your tank full of gas, right? And the merit is like the gas in your gas tank. It gives you a sense of momentum. It's hard to progress on the spiritual path if you don't have some juice, some shakti there, wind in your sails. Otherwise, we can kind of eddy. It's very interesting. I found that to be true, in my own life. When I was doing practices where I'm accumulating merit, whether it's visualization or mantra recitation or volunteering, like seva is a way to do that, like karma yoga, seva. It's like you're charging yourself up. It's like when you plug an iPhone into the wall and it goes, it's kind of like you're charging yourself up, and then there's some wind in your sails for your practice so that the results start to come. There is something to that. So we don't want to let merit get co-opted by materialism or egoism. So it's not like, well, I donated $1 million, so I'm special. I want first row in the Dalai Lama's big teaching, or, like don't let, like, we shouldn't let accumulating merit or doing good deeds go to our head, or kind of reinforce this sort of spiritual materialism, as Chogyam Trungpa called it, this kind of ego that gets inflated even in the spiritual world. So traditionally, acts of merit would be things like good deeds, as I mentioned, revering sacred images and texts, so showing respect. If you see an image of a Buddha, you don't, step over it. It hopefully brings to mind positive qualities and you revere it. Also treating texts. And I should say something about the text. So the text that you have, whether it's the chant sheet or the slogans, shouldn't go on the floor. I'm not that strict about it. But what I like to encourage you to do is always, like at the beginning of class, get a what are those called? A block or a pillow, and put it like I am, like on top of something, so that it's not where people step their feet on. It's a show of respect. It doesn't mean you're like blind faith, but it means that you respect the teachings that could potentially lead you to liberation, right? Texts in the Buddhist tradition are very important because they can bring us liberation more than images, right? Because we can read them, we can understand them, they can convey practices. So it's very common to just say, please respect, the Dharma, the representation of the Dharma text. So please don't put them on the floor. The next one of the 4 practices is, other ways to cultivate merit is supporting the Sangha, the community of practitioners in any way. A lot of you who volunteer here, you're cultivating good merit by volunteering and supporting the Sangha. The things that we do to support other practitioners can also bring merit, positive energy to us. And that also helps to, what Chogyam Trungpa says, to disrupt the ego, disrupt our self-centeredness. Yeah. Okay, the next one is to avoid doing negative deeds, right? So we adopt positive things, and then we abandon or let go of negative things through our speech, our thoughts, our actions. As much as possible, try not to do harm. So that's the second practice. The third is to make offerings to what are called the dun in Tibetan, which are like negative forces. And this is why I was like, oh, no, I have to talk about this, because I tend to shy away from kind of more of this kind of, because I wasn't raised with this type of thing, but some of you may have been, and that is more comfortable for you. But sometimes they're called ghosts or negative energies, whether it's external or internal. We can also think of them like the demons, like in Feeding Your Demons, where instead of reinforcing them, we can turn towards them, feed them rather than fight them, and learn from them. But what's interesting is duns are defined a little bit more specifically as sudden attacks of neurosis. Sudden attacks of neurosis. So it's kind of like the extreme negative, or whether it's something that overcomes us from outside or something that wells up from inside. Develop a relationship with and befriend them, pacify, listen to, heal, integrate whatever is appropriate for you in that moment, in that dynamic, rather than reinforce and act out of them. Often spiritual practice is said to pacify the dun in that way, making offerings to the dun. They say that dun actually can be helpful because they shake us out of our complacency. So if you think about it like a challenge, like a long meditation sit, or somebody criticizing us, or giving us feedback, these things can be kind of hard or feel like an attack from the outside or something uncomfortable initially, but then with more time we give it some thought, we might even learn from that. So we actually learn to welcome these challenges as opportunities to learn, and therefore we can be even grateful for them. And then the last one is to also make offerings to the Dharmapalas, Sanskrit word for the Dharma protectors of the teachings. So again, I could tell some stories in the next class. Maybe when we come back together, I'll tell you a little bit more about the history of Dharmapalas in Vajrayana Buddhism. They play an important role in the establishment of Tantric Buddhism in Tibet, and the local spirits that vowed to protect those teachings and those who practice those teachings. So it's very interesting. So in the Tibetan tradition, to their shrines and in their monasteries, they make offerings to these Dharma protectors. But what's interesting is the way Chogyam Trungpa describes them in a more kind of updated way, you could say, I like a lot, is we can think of Dharmapalas as the guardians of awareness, those qualities, those energies that help to hold the safety, the healing circle, so that we can go deep and do our practice. Yeah, so like say if you go on a long retreat, you would make offerings to the Dharma protectors so that they hold you in that space. And it's not meant to be a fear-mongering or anything like that, but more requesting support. So in that way, guardians of awareness is a nice way of thinking of Dharma protectors. So these are the 4 practices. So some of you are brand new tonight, and I just knew the newbies would be like, what the hell is this class? It's a little odd. Some of these slogans are more esoteric, a little more arcane. Others, most of them, are very relatable. And, I think I hope that in some way they just didn't feel too arcane for you. But that is a very quick kind of cliff note summary commentary to the slogan 15. The 4 practices are the best of methods. Yeah. So practice virtue, abandon non-virtue. It's classic Dharma. Those are the first 2. Then, have respect for the dun when they show up. Oh, that's what that is. How can I listen to you? How can I respect, and how are you teaching me? And then the last one is Dharma protectors. Maybe just think of how do you feel protection or the guardianship of your lineage, your ancestry, your practices, and how do you hold those with respect? This is precious stuff, This isn't just something you can get at the Dollar Tree. This is important. This can, more than money, this can lead us to freedom. Maybe not this slogan per se, but Dharma in particular. So it should be protected, guarded. And we guard it in our hearts too. In whatever way feels true for you, of course. Okay? Any questions or comments about that before we wrap it up? Dun is spelled D-O with 2 dots, which is called an umlaut. That's why it's D-O-N. Dun. You want to say it? Dun. Yeah. And Dharma protectors are Dharmapala. Dharmapala. Want to say it? Dharmapala. So Dharma is Dharma. Pala is protectors. Dharmapala. It's a cool name, huh? Okay. Well, thank you everybody for coming, and let's take a moment to dedicate the merit, the positive energy we've cultivated. Common way to end our practice, our classes, is to feel any benefit. We're sharing it. It goes out, filling infinite space. We dedicate any positive energy, any so-called merit that we've cultivated as a Sangha tonight, for the benefit of ourselves, for our loved ones, for those near and far, known and unknown, even our enemies, the dun, those who challenge us. May all beings be happy. May they be free from suffering. Thank you. So I can sit up here for a little bit. I'm feeling good tonight. So I can sit up here for a little bit. If you want to introduce yourself or ask a question, I'm happy to meet you, to answer your feeding your demons question. And then, of course, there's tea in the lobby if you would like to stay and connect with your community and talk about the dun and the 4 best practices or whatever you want to talk about. Talk about the Dharma or the weather and enjoy, make new friends. That strange weather. I didn't expect to wake up with a wet ground. Did you guys? That took me by surprise. I haven't been monitoring the weather, but yeah, it was good, I think. Good for us. All right. Well, good night, you guys. Take care. You're welcome. Thanks, Ariane and Hannah and all the volunteers who helped make this possible. Please put your stuff back.